We have some major 49ers training camp news to get to on today's show, but first, shout out our sponsor, Magic Spoon, for making today's show possible. You can get $5 off your checkout by going to magicspoon.com/49ers report. It's cereal that tastes great, but it's also really good for you. What a day during 49ers training camp in Santa Clara. A loaded show coming your way. You're watching the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I am your host, Chase Sr., and it's all going down in Santa Clara. It's really hard to grasp everything that's transpired during 49ers practice today. Jimmy Garoppolo was asked if he had an idea about who the starting quarterback would be in Week 1. He said, quote, "I have a good idea who's going to be the starter," and he gave away a classic Jimmy Garoppolo smile. Jalen Hurd returned to practice, and he's making plays out on the practice field. Jaquiski Tartt, it looked as though a couple weeks ago, wasn't going to be available in the secondary for quite a while, but Jaquiski Tartt on track to play possibly against the Raiders in Week 3 of the preseason this weekend. Nick Bosa is back. Dee Ford has also returned to the practice field. You get what I'm saying when I said that it's all going down in Santa Clara? Let's dive into it. So Kyle Shanahan, like Jimmy Garoppolo, was also asked about who the starting quarterback was going to be in Week 1 against the Detroit Lions in a couple weeks. Kyle Shanahan had this to say: "I feel like I've talked pretty consistently about this the whole time. I've got a pretty good idea, and I think our team does also." Jimmy G asked a very similar question by the media members on hand and said this with a monster smile: "I have a pretty good idea. I'm pretty happy with where I'm at right now and just the offense as a whole." If Jimmy G says, "I'm happy with where I'm at right now," does that mean that Kyle Shanahan and him have had conversations behind closed doors, maybe in the quarterback meetings, and have said and have come to the conclusion that Jimmy G is most likely going to start? Possibly. Now, Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo said all of that prior to practice. And then during practice, David Lombardi of The Athletic took to Twitter to say this: "Hands down, the most fascinating 49ers practice of the Kyle Shanahan era." That's saying something. Shanahan's been in the Bay for a little while. Just as I've been talking about for a while, Kyle Shanahan mixed and matched Garoppolo and Lance with both the first team and second team offenses. Shanahan even swapped QBs multiple times mid-drive based on down, distance, and defense. Kyle Shanahan is a fascinating and very bright, intelligent offensive mind, so it's not too much of a surprise for him to mix and match Jimmy G and Trey Lance, but Trey Lance continues to get a lot of first-team reps with the first-team offense. So this has been the question of training camp so far. Who's going to be the Week 1 starter? Niner gang, sound off. Chime in the comment section down below. Type JG for Jimmy Garoppolo. Type TL for Trey Lance. I think it's trending toward Jimmy G, which I'm okay with. But I do think that if Trey Lance is ready to play, even though he's somewhat raw, he should play. We'll see here in the next couple of weeks. Niner gang, this is why you subscribe, because when breaking news happens, like yesterday when the 49ers made roster cuts, we had you covered with a video within the hour. And when stuff goes down at practice, we have you covered once again on the channel. So help us get to 40,000 subscribers, as we are one of the largest 49ers channels right here on YouTube. Hit that red subscribe button down below for year-round 49ers coverage. As for Jalen Hurd, he got sat last week, out of practice because of knee tendonitis, on the same knee that he tore his ACL in last year during training camp. But he returned to training camp today, and not only did he return, he partook in team drills, and he actually looked really good and was making a lot of plays, according to the media members who were on the sidelines watching him play. Not only did he look somewhat spry, he looked athletic. He was picking up some yards after the catch, partaking in some of those team drills. And this comes after, like I said, he was shut down last week because of that knee tendonitis. Man, what do you make of this Jalen Hurd situation? The physical skill set is tantalizing. He has the size of a tight end. He moves like a wide receiver. In college, he played a little bit of running back, but we've never seen him play a regular season snap since getting drafted in the third round back in 2019 because of a back injury and a torn ACL in consecutive seasons. And he has just not been readily available for this team. And other wide receivers on the depth chart are soaring up the depth chart while Jalen Hurd has been sitting out. But now he returns and he's making plays. For me, I'm at this point. I need to see it on the game field, and that's where I need to see it translate. For me to say that Jalen Hurd is going to make the 53-man roster, he simply hasn't practiced enough, and we can't count on him to be on the field and healthy, even though the physical skill set is very, very intriguing. You take a look at the 49ers wide receiver depth chart now, and Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Mohamed Sanu, Trent Sherfield, all locks to make this roster, in my opinion, when the roster is cut down to 53 next Tuesday. We'll cover it here on the channel. Other guys in the mix for those final 1 or 2 spots at the wide receiver position: Richie James, as well as Nasimba Webster, Jawan Jennings, Travis Benjamin, and now Jalen Hurd. So you basically have 5 guys competing for either 1 or 2 spots. And Jalen Hurd, unlike the other guys, hasn't been able to basically practice all throughout training camp. Can he play this weekend against the Raiders? If he does, he proves that he's healthy and he actually makes some plays. Could he sneak on to the back half of the 53-man? We will see. Time will tell. But my goodness, Jalen Hurd back on the practice field today. And this isn't a hyperbolic statement. I mean, people are saying Jalen Hurd looks really, really good. So is he going to make the 53-man roster? Get into the comment section right now and get your votes in. Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no. I'm leaning no just because he hasn't practiced basically at all throughout training camp. I just don't think he's done enough to crack this roster. Also, there's this. Jaquiski Tartt has been activated off of PUP, and Kyle Shanahan said today that Jaquiski Tartt could partake in the preseason finale this weekend against the Las Vegas Raiders, has not played since going down with a turf toe injury in November. And a couple weeks ago, Kyle Shanahan made it seem like he wasn't sure when Tartt would come back. But it looks as though Tartt is going to return soon. And if he doesn't partake in the preseason finale, maybe he's going to be at the back end of the secondary week 1 against Detroit. Kyle Shanahan saying this real quick. We're going to see how he looks today during practice on Thursday as we record this. Hopefully he can go these 3 days and show us that he's healthy and playing at a high level. 49ers secondary, they lack some depth, especially at the safety position. Tartt could really help in that department. Do you think he's going to play week 1? Type P for play, type S for sit. You have to be somewhat cautious about that turf toe injury because if you re-injure that and it flares up again, you're looking at him being out for an extended period of time. 49ers report made possible thanks to our friends at Magic Spoon. Back in the day, I was crushing bowls of cereal late at night, and I got really, really fat, packed on a bunch of pounds. I had to eliminate cereal out of my diet, but now that I've gotten a little older, and now that Magic Spoon has a healthy brand of cereal, I've reintroduced cereal into my diet. And you can get $5 off to see what I'm talking about by going to magicspoon.com/49ers report. Per serving, you get 13 to 14 grams of protein, depending on which flavor you go with, 4 grams of net carbs, 0 grams of sugar. And unlike all of the traditional brands that we really all ate growing up, Magic Spoon uses healthy ingredients, and the cereal actually tastes good. All of the flavors that they've been trying out are straight up phenomenal. So if you want to get $5 off your purchase, you can get a box, maybe even a few boxes, by going to magicspoon.com/49ers report. That link is in the description of this video. Let's continue to stay on the defensive end of the football. Nick Bosa, throughout training camp, has been doing individual drills on the side, going up against the shed to get some individual work in. But Nick Bosa returned to practice today and was able to participate in full team drills. And in classic Nick Bosa fashion, on the first play that he was involved in team drills, it was a sack. Nick Bosa is primed for a breakout year, and this defensive line could get scary because not only did Nick Bosa return, but Dee Ford returned to practice as well. He's coming off a litany of injuries, neck, back stuff, and I wasn't all too optimistic about what his return would look like, but in all accounts, he too has looked really good in training camp as well. And if Nick Bosa, Dee Ford are both back to their normal selves, this defensive line under DeMeco Ryans is going to wreak havoc. They're going to be able to pin their ears back, get after the opposing quarterback, and just cause a bunch of problems for opposing offenses. Eric Armstead, Javon Kinlaw also returned today. DJ Jones, a good defensive tackle. Nick Bosa coming off the edge. And then the backups are very, very talented. This could be one of the deepest defensive lines in the league as well. Contavious Street, Kevin Givens, Samson Ebukam, Arden Key, Zach Kerr, Mo Hurst, Jordan Willis. And all 5 of these guys registered sacks against the Chargers in that preseason game on Sunday. 4 of them, all defensive linemen. Street, Willis, Armstead, Ebukam. Kai Nasua, playing safety, came up for a sack as well. I'm telling you guys, I don't think I'm over-exaggerating at all. This 49ers defensive line could be straight up phenomenal. Now let's shift back to the offensive side of the football. Elijah Mitchell returning to practice as well. He was out with a lower body injury. The rookie out of Louisiana was drawing rave reviews throughout rookie minicamps for his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, a 4.3 speed guy. And this adds to the confusion of the running back core that, like the defensive line, is really deep. Now, unlike the defensive line, there's not star-studded talent here, but Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are going to have to make some really difficult decisions to make when it comes to 53-man roster cutdown day. Because you have 6 running backs who I think all could contribute this year. Raheem Mostert, Trey Sermon, Wayne Gallman, JaMychal Hasty has been a very surprise player throughout training camp, running hard with physicality. Elijah Mitchell. Now, Jeff Wilson is on PUP, so he's not going to join the team or be active for the next several weeks to start the regular season. But does Kyle Shanahan elect to keep all 5 of these guys? Is it only going to be 4? Tough decisions to make right there. Before we get out of here, help me out, faithful. I mean, this is why you subscribe, because anytime anything major happens at 49ers training camp, during the regular season, in the offseason, we bring you a video in a timely manner and in an entertaining way as well. So hit that red subscribe button down below or go to youtube.com/49erstv.